It was almost midnight when I heard a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. The house was quiet, lit only by a dim hallway light, and everyone else was fast asleep. I had just made some tea to help myself wind down after a long day, and the sudden sound startled me. I froze for a moment, unsure if I had imagined it, but then it came again, 3 solid knocks, slow and deliberate. I padded softly to the front door, peeking through the peephole. I almost gasped. It was Marcus, my sister Jenna's fiancé. Tall, broad-shouldered, and unmistakably present, he stood with a small overnight bag slung over one shoulder. His expression was weary, but relieved when I opened the door. "Marcus," I said in surprise. "What are you doing here? It's almost midnight." He shifted on his feet, apologetic. "I know, I'm sorry. I just got into town." Jenna didn't answer her phone. I figured she might be here. Jenna and Marcus were supposed to arrive together for the long weekend at our family home, but a last-minute change in plans had delayed her. She had called earlier to say her work conference had been extended, and she would be arriving the next morning. "Jenna's not here yet," I said. "Her conference got pushed, so she's coming tomorrow." "You didn't get her message?" He shook his head. "My phone died hours ago. I couldn't charge it while driving, and I didn't want to stop anywhere so late." I stepped aside and gestured him in. "Well, come in then. You must be exhausted." Marcus smiled gratefully and entered, ducking slightly through the door frame. He always seemed to carry a calm confidence with him, a quiet presence that filled any room without effort. I remembered meeting him for the first time at a family barbecue, thinking he was a bit intimidating. But Jenna had fallen hard for him, and I could see why. He was respectful, intelligent, and grounded. He sat on the couch while I reheated the tea and poured a second cup. The kitchen light bathed the space in a warm glow, casting soft shadows on the walls. We made small talk, his drive, work, the upcoming wedding. He was surprisingly easy to talk to, even when the clock struck midnight. "I didn't want to wake your folks," he said. "Didn't know who else might still be up." "I'm usually the last one," I replied. "Night owl habits. You can crash in the guest room. I made the bed earlier just in case." "Thanks, that's really kind of you." He took a long sip of the tea and looked around the room with a thoughtful expression. "This place brings back a lot of memories already." I nodded. "Jenna always loved it here, especially during summer. The lake, the bonfires, the porch swings." "She told me about the porch swing," Marcus said with a chuckle. "Said you two used to compete over who could swing higher." "She always won," I admitted with a laugh. There was a natural rhythm to our conversation. It didn't feel forced or awkward. He had a way of making people feel heard, something I hadn't noticed much before. Maybe it was the quietness of the night, or maybe it was the comfort of sharing a space with someone familiar, but time slipped by quickly. I stood to gather the cups. "All right, I should probably let you rest." He stood too, stretching his arms with a grateful sigh. "That sounds great. Thanks again, really." I led him to the guest room and handed him a towel. "Bathrooms across the hall if you need to freshen up." "Perfect. See you in the morning," he said. I retreated to my room and climbed under the covers, still thinking about how unexpected the evening had turned out. I didn't know Marcus well before tonight, but the simple, respectful conversation helped me see why Jenna chose him. Morning came with soft light pouring through my curtains. I headed to the kitchen and started making breakfast. A few minutes later, Marcus appeared, looking refreshed and more awake. "Morning," he said cheerfully. "Morning. Sleep okay?" "Best sleep I've had in a while," he replied. "You make coffee, too?" I pointed to the fresh pot. "Help yourself." Just as he poured his mug, the front door opened and in walked Jenna, suitcase in hand. Her eyes lit up when she saw Marcus. "You made it," she said, running into his arms. He caught her easily, spinning her once before setting her down. "I did. Got in late last night. Your sister saved me." Jenna turned to me with a grateful smile. "Thanks, Em. You always come through." The rest of the day flowed with cheerful family chatter. My parents were delighted to see Marcus, and Jenna was full of stories about her conference. The house buzzed with energy again. Later, As we sat around the fireplace, Jenna leaned in and whispered, "So, what did you and Marcus talk about last night?" I shrugged, smiling. "Life. Memories. Swings." She raised an eyebrow. "He can be a little quiet at first, but once he opens up, he's solid," I said sincerely. "You picked a good one, Jen." She beamed. The weekend continued with hikes, board games, and lazy afternoons by the lake. Marcus fit into our family seamlessly. He helped my dad fix the porch railing, joined my mom in the kitchen, and even played cards with my cousins. On the final night, as we all sat watching the stars from the back deck, I found myself reflecting on how sometimes unexpected moments can show us the deeper sides of people. Marcus's late-night visit wasn't part of the plan, but it turned into a rare window into his character. And while I was happy for Jenna, I also felt grateful for that one quiet night. It reminded me of the strength of kindness, of showing up even when it's inconvenient, and of the bonds that form in silence and simplicity. As the stars twinkled overhead and the cicadas hummed in the woods, I realized that sometimes the best connections aren't about grand gestures. They're about being present even at the wrong hour of the night.